What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas, here as always with our co-host, King Rome. How you doing tonight, sir?
Well, Jeff, as you can see, I'm doing quite well. I have remained the reigning, defending Broken Predictions champion after a hell of a battle with Coach Nick, who I respect dearly. But at the end of the day, the King's reign will continue.
Absolutely, and we are here tonight for our 500 subscriber celebration. Thank you guys very much for helping us hit this first milestone. The next one's going to be 1,000. Oh, can't wait for that one. Tonight we will be doing a couple of giveaways. One of them here soon after we get started, and then the second one will be for that Sting figure we've been talking about. So everybody stay tuned for that Sting figure later, but we are going to be doing one earlier on in the pod for a Lance Archer figure, so stay tuned for that as well. Let's get this out of here, and all right. Welcome everybody to this episode of the Broken Tables podcast. We're here for our AEW Dynamite review from Sacramento, California. Man, it feels like Dynamite has its own new theme music with Orange Cassidy's music, doesn't it? Like we start off with Excalibur's voice for a few minutes, and then we get Jane.
Yeah, man. I mean, it works, and even the numbers came out today for the ratings yesterday, and I mean the numbers aren't great, but I mean as long as they're competing against the NBA, that's just kind of where we're at with the numbers. I mean,
yeah.
But the quarter hours, they're showing you, man, that Orange Cassidy is a draw. This guy comes out every week, and they have him come out, and they have him wrestle the first match because they know the numbers he's going to pull.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. So we get Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal tries to bring everybody down ringside. You know, his whole crew there, Jeff Jarrett and Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. But we get all the referees come running down, and they, I guess you could say, ban everybody from ringside, but they kind of just tell everybody to go to the back. Uh, I really enjoyed that. You know, Jay Lethal was pretty much pissed off, and it kind of gave us a nice one-on-one match. You know, we didn't have to worry about a bunch of interference going on, and I had a blast during this match, man. This Jay Lethal is incredible. Uh and obviously Orange Cassidy is as well. This match was really good.
Yeah, I thought that there was a really good way to open the show. I really enjoyed, by the way, the opening to the show was a pay per view recap, which I really enjoyed. That kind of like instead of doing the traditional AEW
Yeah.
entrance package, they did a pay per view recap, which I thought was really smart and looked really awesome. If I hadn't seen the pay per view after watching that, I definitely would have wanted to watch it. But yeah, it was a great match. Thought it was a great rubber match for them to have. I mean, what
Yeah,
more can you say?
absolutely.
It's great. It's a great wrestling match with two great wrestlers starting out the night.
Yeah, you know, Jay Lethal worked over Orange Cassidy's knee the whole match. Cassidy worked over his arm the whole match. And it came down to, you know, who was able to pull off their finisher. Lethal went for his lethal injection, but his arm collapsed underneath him. Orange Cassidy was going for his orange punch, but his leg kept collapsing underneath him. But right there at the end, when Lethal's lethal injection, when his arm collapsed underneath him, Orange Cassidy took advantage and picked up the win there with the 1, 2, 3. Uh, Interesting spot here afterwards. I couldn't wait to ask you about this. Jeff Jarrett's guitar shot. So Jeff Jarrett comes into the ring, sneaks up behind Orange Cassidy. He hits him with the stroke, and he hits Orange Cassidy's knee with the guitar.
Mm.
Have you ever seen a guitar shot targeting a limb rather than, you know, just hitting someone over the head? I haven't.
No, I have not. That's
It,
going to lead to some really good storytelling next week.
uh, dude, they're having a match for the All Atlantic. I can still call it that, right? He said it's the last time they're going to defend it as that title, the All
Uh,
Atlantic Championship.
no, next week it's going to be the international, but we'll get
Yeah.
into it.
So it will be the AEW International Championship. I love the new name. Not to say the old name wasn't, you know, okay. It just didn't make much sense when you're thinking about Japan and all the other countries around the world. You know, the Atlantic's just like right there in the middle. So I do like the new name. This guitar shot to Orange Cassidy's knee, man, I was like, I was in shock for a moment, and I was like, you know, Jeff Jarrett's gonna he's gonna win this match in Canada, man, and Jeff Jarrett's gonna be the international champion.
I mean, well, I guess we'll see.
We shall see. All right, next up we had you know, they kind of did a little recap of Wardlow's video from Twitter showing his car that had gotten broken into, where they stole all his gear and the TNT title, unfortunately. I had a I had a little faith here when they did this that they were going to turn it into part of the storyline, you know, but you know, we'll get to that a little bit later. We also had Will Hobbs with Renee Paquette. He cut himself a nice promo on Wardlow for the later in the night. You know, that was decent. Did what it needed to do for their match.
Mm.
Next up, we had Ricky Starks in the ring with a really, really good promo, man. This kid just gets better and better every time he gets on the mic or gets in the ring. And, you know, who he kind of is wondering who's next for Ricky Starks. And we see the Bullet Club logo hit the Jumbotron. And, you know, in a world with Jay White being a free agent, this is a little bit of a risky move. You know, you don't want to fake everybody out here. But they played his music right away. So if you know Juice's music, the music was playing. And Juice Robinson comes out and you know he lays out Ricky Starks, right? Stands tall, puts up the Bullet Club fingers. I'm a huge fan of this. I saw a bunch of people being like, "Where's the build to this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's Ricky Starks' next opponent." How do you? I'm just like, come on, people, whatever. Um, I feel like this is also. Remember how I've been telling you? I think that the Fed is putting together their Bullet Club. I think this is Tony jumping out in front of him, like, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, no. So I mean, I did like this promo from Ricky. He comes out talk about what's next and where he's going next, and then the Bullet Club thing comes on, and I actually 100% agree with you that I think that like I still think Jay White's going to WWE, but like that's his in to AEW if he signs with AEW. Um,
I don't
for,
think so, man. I really don't.
see, my thing
Unless he's
is,
chasing the money, obviously.
you don't think he's signing with WWE?
Jay White, no. He's the
I
same
mean,
size as Adam Cole. What does he think they're going to do with him that they wouldn't have done with Adam Cole?
look, man, I hear you. I'm just you got to understand that we're in the middle of a wrestling war,
Oh yeah, like
and
I said, if he's willing to take the money, he's going for sure. But if he's worried about his legacy instead, I don't think he's going.
well, so here's what I would say my counter argument that we're seeing right now, and it's something that they know they're in a war, so they're doing it. Now, mind you, Vince coming back and Vince kind of getting back in the reins of things, we could see how long this lasts. But
Hmm.
you look at, for example, I mean, again, what more reason to hate the guy, Cody Rhodes? Like, Cody is, whether it's right or wrong, like, you know that the Fed is keeping Cody as true to him as possible because they want to use that as an example for people that would consider coming to the WWE. Like if
Yeah.
you're Jay White, who are you looking at as like a recent big free agent signing and how they've been treated? You look at Cody, and Cody kept the same music. It's this he's the same character except now he's a bitch. Like it's like it's the same character. So same music, same everything. So
Yeah.
like if you're Jay White and you're looking at Cody, it's like you're like, well, if they're gonna treat Cody like that, and they're telling me they're gonna treat me like that, then
I can see it, of
and like
course.
Dragon Lee did debut on NXT last night, and they called him Dragon Lee. He's not changing his name. So like they're going to fight. They're going. They know that they're in a wrestling war, and they are still going to do the things that they do, but they're going to prop it up and make it seem like they're not doing these things. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you have to understand that Jay White very likely can, and I think he will end up in WWE personally. But that
You
being
know,
said, I think it's a great if he's coming to AEW, this is a great in for him because they didn't just do like the Juice Robinson theme to distract
that
Ricky. They
was full Bullet Club.
that was full on legitimate Bullet Club. So I don't know. I mean, that me looking at it, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I also loved it. I thought it was great, and I think that it's great to get. I think Juice and Ricky alone is going to be a great rivalry, a great feud. Um, I do hope that that's Jay White's in though. I do hope that we get the Bullet Club in AEW on a more legitimate level. Um,
Oh, could you imagine Adam Cole uh somehow involved? I'd be so
I could
happy.
actually. I mean, it's very believable.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we had Wardlow with a 7-star FTR shirt on. Basically making this a Falls Count Anywhere, Anything Goes match. That'll definitely tie into the main event later, obviously. But to the ending of Dynamite.
I think. Um,
Go
I
ahead.
so I did want to comment earlier, but I kind of let you just run through it a little quickly. I do think that there is a chance that the car thing with Wardlow is a work. I don't want to rule that out yet. But if it's not a work, props to them for really kind of taking this unfortunate situation and really rolling with it. If he had his gear stolen and he doesn't have gear and they can't make new gear for him in 12 hours or
Yeah.
whatever, it makes sense. Like, hey, just let him go out there and like, oh, he's in jeans and a shirt. Like, okay, well, let's make it a Falls Count Anywhere match so that it fits it.
Yeah.
It also makes you wonder about the ending of the match. Like, if it's not a work, like clearly the plan changed slightly here. But
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, I gotta save my comment for that till the end because I don't want to spoil what happened till we get there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's something that they should have done that would have made this infinitely better.
we'll see.
But we'll get there. I love the 7-star FTR shirt on Wardlow there. I'm wondering if maybe we get some sort of a Wardlow FTR trios team down the line. They always like to foreshadow things. You know what I mean? And they used to be in the Pinnacle together back in the day, but we'll see what happens with that.
Mhm.
Next up was Renee Paquette in the ring with Ruby Soho, who, my God, for the first time I think ever, I was absolutely impressed with Ruby on the mic here. She cut a tremendous heel promo here. Man, when she called the fans fat neckbeards, I was like, yeah, Ruby, but I was like, wait a minute, I feel personally attacked here. Um, I really, really enjoyed this promo from her, and it led straight into a match with Sky Blue where they had a freaking great, fantastic match. Uh, Ruby Soho takes the win in this one with the Destination Unknown after just, really good match between these two ladies. Saraya and Toni Storm come out and they try to hold down Sky Blue for the paints for the L. And who comes out to make the save but Ruby's, I guess you could say, ex-tag team partner. They tagged like two times, right? Her ex-tag partner, Willow Nightingale. And immediately I could see here where we're going. Willow is wearing an AEW shirt. And, obviously Willow's going to be Team Originals. Ruby's on
The Outsiders.
The Outsiders. This is getting really good. This is getting really, really good.
Yeah, I thought that this, in general, I think everything that they did in this segment, both the pre and post match and the match itself, was just excellently done. It was an excellent promo from Ruby. It's definitely the best work she's done on the mic since coming to AEW and probably ever, because I don't really remember.
Ever. Yeah.
I don't ever remember really being into any of her promos too much before AEW. So, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought that it's really well done long-term storytelling. I mean, it's definitely, it makes a lot of sense. She holds grudges. And it's all factual. And it's a
Yeah.
great way to spin the Outsiders thing, in a sense that, like, yeah, I mean, the fans don't hate Toni Storm, but the fans hate Saraya. I personally think it's unwarranted a little bit. And Ruby also generally gets not hate, but she's never like the one that the fans want. It was always Statlander or Britt or somebody else, and so Ruby kind of comes in as an afterthought. And for her to kind of take the ball here and run with it, I just thought it was really well done and really excellent by her. Really well thought out booking, long term booking at that. To have the wherewithal to go back and to realize, like, hey, this has been an ongoing thing with Ruby, and Ruby can use this as motivation. And for her to, and like, it also adds a lot of credence to when she does snap at the pay per view, why she snaps. It's not simple like WWE, like they would book it as like nonsensical, like she loses one match and she snaps. But with Ruby and here in AEW, you look at it where it's just a buildup of, okay, at a Grand Slam 2 years ago, they booed me, even though I'm the babyface. I faced Chris Statlander in the Owen. I'm a babyface at the time. They boo me when I beat her. Like
So good.
it just keeps going and going, and it's very well done, and it's a great point by her.
It
And
made so much sense, didn't it?
it really does. It just makes so much sense. Not even just for her, but again for Saraya as well. Like
Like,
if you're Saraya and you're coming into this company to be a part of this division, and all you get is constant negativity even before you turn heel, like, yeah, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
was
I
Saraya
just
getting,
love how
see, I would be like, fuck you guys. I'm done. I'm fucking heel.
yeah, I just love how it made sense. There's so many times somebody will turn heel and I'm like, why well, that made no sense. Why'd they turn heel? It made perfect sense. She gave a rundown of why. I was like, yeah. Yep, it was
Yeah,
great.
it's just well done, very sound booking. And then, like you said, she goes out and has a great match with Sky Blue. Sky Blue just continuously getting better each day. I liked having her in this spot. You very easily could have put, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I think Sky Blue was a great choice for this because you don't want to use any of your big matches yet against Ruby. So I thought it was a great match. Sky Blue looked great. Ruby looked great. And then the post match was also really well done. Just to have Willow Nightingale come out and like they're supposed to be friends. Willow on the night of the pay per view tweeted like, "Go get him, Ruby." And then like after the match, she's like, "Oh, like why would you do this?"
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, again, it's just all really well done storytelling.
Yep, absolutely. So Ruby, as Willow's trying to talk her out of whatever's going on in her head, Ruby hits Willow with the no future. and her and Sky Blue wind up getting the big old L. Oop, that goes that way. Big old L painted on them with the green spray paint. So just excellent work all around by these ladies. Great work. It was International Women's Day, by the way, so that was great work by the ladies on that day. Excellent. Next up, we had Renee Paquette with Hangman backstage with a black eye and just absolutely looking like he went through a war, man. Like that was like a MMA fighter just after a brutal war, but he cut an incredible promo about the Texas death and how he is done with Moxley. He apologizes to Renee for his actions. This was so good, and I can't stress enough how beat up he looked, man. He looked bad.
I actually had an issue. I didn't watch the video, admittedly, so maybe I'm taking just a headline and running with it. But Dave did like like an opinion on a video that he's like, hey, like these AEW they should sell like they should sell a little bit more after a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like reading this headline, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Mox comes out, he's got a fucking black eye, he's cut on his forehead, like in multiple places still. And when he comes out in the ring later, he's limping. Like, yeah,
Yep.
Mox wrestles on, but it's John Moxley. Like this guy is like this is his character that he loves the pain. Like he's probably in pain in the kayfabe right now. Real life he's probably in pain as well. But like yeah, I don't know. I thought that it was a really weird criticism from Dave because I don't really agree with it. I think that more often than not you do sell a lot of stuff. I mean MJF wasn't on TV tonight. Danielson went home after the loss. I mean
Yeah.
like there's so many things where I couldn't disagree more with Dave on this one. It was a really
Well,
weird
no,
take.
I mean, I think Dave said that before the episode, right?
No, I don't think so. Maybe
No,
I'm
I
wrong.
thought he had said it before the episode because it seemed like they took what he said and they were already planning on it here. Because right after this Hangman promo, we get an MJF promo, that was basically right there before the media scrum. I think that's why the media scrum took so long. Everybody was filming their promos real quick. Um, and MJF cuts an amazing promo saying, my reign of terror has just begun. I guess that's a reference to the old Triple H reign of terror, right?
The only thing that is a reign of terror when it comes to Triple H is his fear for Riho.
Triple H fears Riho. I wish I had a button that I could just like automatically make that clip play. That'd be great. I'm gonna do that. So yeah, next up we got an awesome promo from MJF. Like I just said, he said his reign of terror has just begun. He's cutting this promo covered in blood, growing a freaking horn out of his forehead because he is the devil. This was fantastic. And whether Dave said it before or after, I'm not sure he had watched, but this is exactly what I think he was talking about, and they are definitely doing it now, so I love it. Next up, we had Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he called out my favorite tag team on the planet, FTR, and my God, the pop for these guys was insane. And I tell you what, this was a little interesting for me that FTR was still playing the babyface role tremendously here. But for the past few weeks on Twitter and on the podcast, it felt like Dax was trying to like become a heel. You know what I mean? So I thought we were going to get just a little taste of a heel here, but I didn't detect any. Did you detect any heel anything going on here?
No, not at all. It was a very babyface promo. Even Dax
Yeah.
says during the promo, he's like, I know this is kind of rah rah babyface, but he's
Mhm.
like, I love pro wrestling. I love you guys. Love the Briscoes. Mad that the Guns spoiled what ended up being our last moments with Jay Briscoe. Which is a powerful line, obviously. And then they talk about how they're coming for the
Yeah.
title. Now, Dax reiterated on Twitter that their contract status hasn't changed and they're still up at the end of April. Um, I don't know. It was a great promo.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. I don't have any problems with it. It is what it is. I mean, I am curious to see what happens with FTR. I mean, obviously, so right now we're kind of in a waiting formation where there's a lot of things that can reveal other things, and all of it is in flux right now, if that makes sense. So like All Access is going to tell us everything we need to know about the Brawl Out. Like if All Access comes out and they have a whole episode for it, it was a work, which means CM Punk will be back, which means the FTR is probably staying in AEW. Like it's all a domino effect where we're just kind of waiting on it. Because I know you don't want to hear this, Jeff, but I don't think it's at all out of the realm of possibility that FTR want to go back to WWE.
That they want to go back?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think they want to go back at all. They're no.
I think that they feel like they have something to prove. You like okay. Let me put it like this. Would you say that FTR was the best tag team last year in pro wrestling?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, all right. So they went around, they won all these world titles, they had a hell of a year, they wrestled in Japan, they wrestled in Mexico, they wrestled in America. They went and they had this run, not just this past year, but in AEW leading up to this past year. They wrestled all of these tag teams outside of AEW, the Bucks, et cetera, Lucha Bros, you name it, Aussie Open, the list goes on and on. And so for them to do all this stuff at this point, again, we are in a wrestling civil war, not civil war, sorry, wrestling war. And you can't undersell the nasty tactics that are going on backstage, behind the scenes. And if you look at it, FTR, they might look at it in a sense that like, hey, like I don't want to say it, but it really comes down to the treatment of Cody Rhodes, which is why they've treated Cody as well as they have. If you're FTR, you look at Cody, same as Jay White, you look at Cody Rhodes, look at how he's been booked. He's been booked that way for a very specific reason. And it's not necessarily that they believe in him. It's that they know that they're fighting this stigma that is AEW is the place to be. And it is the place to be. But at the same time, they are fighting this stigma and they use Cody. Cody is their poster child. Cody is the person they're going to slap on the wall, his poster, be like, look at this guy. He's the exact same guy he was in AEW, except he's a bitch now. Like, what do you, like, that's what it is. Come to WWE, look at this. Cody Rhodes, man. He's got the same music, same gear, same character, same everything. So, I don't want to discount the fact that FTR have friends in WWE. FTR at the very least, like they're talking about it on Twitter. If they weren't talking about it on Twitter, then it'd be a different story. And again, could be a work. But because of all these things in flux, if CM Punk is not coming back to AEW and like they're just using some other clips about something else to kind of tease All Access because they know it's going to get views if they kind of like, oh, look, are they talking about Brawl Out? Because they don't straight up say it during the commercial. So it's like if CM Punk's not coming back and the Brawl Out happened and no one wants to do business with each other, FTR is going to go probably to WWE. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think it's smart. I think it's stupid for them. I think it's a bad move for them. It's the money move, absolutely. But again, like, that's where we're at. Like, if WWE wants to pay them, that's what
I completely do not disagree that the money can change anybody's mind. I don't dispute that at all. But when you think when I'm saying like that they want to leave AEW and want to go back to the WWE, there's just nothing that would make me think that at all. Like I know they're friends with Bayley, but they're also friends with Sasha, who was forced to freaking basically dump her freaking titles in the trash and walk out. Like I just don't see any reason for them to want to go back. They've already had the SmackDown titles and the Raw titles. What are they going to do over there?
So again, we're going to go down this route, assuming that CM Punk is not coming back.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to go down this avenue of thought right now. So they have done nothing but complain about Tony Khan, talk about how they can't wait for their contracts to be up. They keep talking about how, talking about how much they do miss WWE. Dax's podcast all the time is like, loved working with Randy. I love being, I love this. I love that. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
those are honest answers. Maybe he did like working with Randy and stuff, but that doesn't discount the management,
I understand. I'm just saying, if you look at his entire, what he's saying, at like these things are being put out there because he wants them to be put out there. He chooses what's on his show. His show just started, and he's already talking about his great times in WWE, and he talked about he's talking about the Brawl Out. Which again, if it's work, then why that makes sense. He's talking about it. But if it's not,
it really seems like his podcast is kind of like a recap of his career, and it seems like he's just kind of starting back towards the beginning. You know what I mean? But here's something that you kind of just reminded me of with this is like the WWE got like lobbed up a softball with Cody. He had a built-in storyline with his dad and him getting kicked out of the company and having to build himself back up. Like, you know what I mean? Like FTR's always been badass. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this whole thing with Cody, like they couldn't miss. It was a built in. Like they didn't even have to write it. It writes itself for them, really. You know what I mean? They would. There's not like a built in storyline for anybody like FTR or even Miro. Like what's Miro gonna do when he goes back? Like they're just gonna throw him back into the U.S. title picture probably against what's his name, Theory or whatever. You know?
Look, I get it, and I'm not trying to be Johnny Raincloud. That's not the
Yeah.
intent. But I mean, you got to look at it realistically. He's made it very clear the way he's talking about it. He sounds like he's wrapping up. I mean, or the way they're talking, Dax is talking sounds like they're wrapping up. It's
I see what you're
very
saying.
Dax is saying like, hey, like we told Tony we'll work out the end of our contracts. You don't say that if you're signing a new deal because you're just going to continue working while you iron out the details. Like there's just things that are being said that if it's not part of a work, like you got to look at it and be like, well, this guy is clearly trying to like this guy's clearly testing the waters of free agent. Like these guys, again, I
Yeah.
keep Dax is the one that's talking. That's why I keep saying this guy. But
Yeah,
clearly
I know
they're
what you mean.
on the same page.
Oh,
Uh,
Coog, don't spoil it, man. We're not watching.
yeah, we're not watching Ring of Honor yet. We'll talk about it later tomorrow.
So
Um,
I got a question for you, real quick.
okay,
So with Cody Rhodes,
the bitch, yes.
the WWE could not build anyone to be a big enough babyface to dethrone Roman, which is why he's approaching 1,000 boring ass days of being champion. So WWE reaches over to AEW and grabs like what, their fifth, maybe sixth best babyface at the time. Like he was kind of hated at the time and he refused to go heel.
I would say like 10th or 11th. That would not be
I'm
good.
trying to give him a little bit of credit here. You know what I
No,
mean? Like,
we're gonna keep it 100. If Cody wanted to keep it
yeah.
100, we're gonna keep it 100.
But so they go and grab, we'll just say a babyface from AEW and literally change absolutely nothing for him to be their top guy.
Correct.
How does that not make AEW look good? Like people are always like, "Oh, Cody left," and I'm like, "It's the same guy." Like they literally were like, they took the same guy.
Yeah, it absolutely makes them look good. I mean, you got to look at again. You got to look at it that way. I mean, when Cody left AEW, he was not doing really anything of substance. He was in the TNT title picture, sure, but even then, it was just a weird thing where like he wasn't really doing anything of worth. His feud with Malachi Black was fine. Like it started off really good and then got bad because Cody should not have beaten Malachi. That was just Cody should not have won that feud, but he did. And it was just like Cody wasn't really doing anything like this. Like you said, he was getting booed out of buildings. He would throw his weightlifting belt into the crowd, and the crowd would throw it
Throw
back.
it
And
back, dude. Oh my
and
god.
it's like it's a matter of, some of the smarter fans saw through his disingenuousness that,
Crazy.
eventually some of us caught on, but what can you do
Crazy.
about that? But again, like you said, this guy was not a top 5 guy. He was not, again, I would say he was like top 10. It's like there were so many guys who were more over than he was, that were more in a more important position than he was. He just didn't want to do anything. Lance Dominguez in the chat says it best. Cody was kind of boring when he left, and he definitely shouldn't have beaten Malachi. And I
No.
agree with Lance here. I just think Cody was really stagnant. He was really boring. It was a problem that he caused himself. You know the meme with the guy riding the bike and he puts a
Yeah.
stick in his spokes and he falls, then he blames someone else for his troubles.
Yeah.
Like that meme is the embodiment of Cody Rhodes, because this guy, he was so full of himself that like he was like, I don't need to win the world title. I'm gonna make it so I can't win the world title. And then he's gonna
So
get
dumb.
butthurt because he can't win the world title. Like, it's your fault. Tony Khan has gone on record saying, I did not want Cody to do that, but Cody insisted that he do that. And he didn't even, like, he lost to Jericho. Like, this isn't a knock at Jericho. Jericho did not need that to help him. He's Chris Jericho. So the fact that Cody does that for Jericho, like, it's just absurd. It is just the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we move on to the next spot here, I'm going to drop the first giveaway here tonight. So, we are going to be doing a giveaway for this Lance Archer from Series 7 of Unrivaled. I absolutely love this Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk monster figure. I got a bunch of them actually. Love this figure. So if you want to be joined into the giveaway for this one, all you got to do is type in AEW, all capitals, in chat. So AEW in chat to join in on this one, and I'll draw the winner here in just a few minutes. You know, we'll go on to the next segment here. All right, next up, one of my favorite segments of the night, even though it was short and sweet, but I will explain why. We had a interview with Jade Cargill, looking amazing, looking like Storm from the X-Men, by the way. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but she had amazing white hair and just, she looked just like Storm from the X-Men. It's one of my favorite X-Men. And she says, you know, I have run through everybody here in AEW in the US, and she says, I think it's time to go abroad. And the first stop is Canada. Oh my God, I think this is the beginning of the road to Forbidden Door with Mercedes. Saying she's going to be going out of the country. I think we may see her wind up over in Japan, and we may get some sort of a confrontation between her and Mercedes at one point. That would be a really good move for AEW to send Jade over there to, the NJPW world for them to get, a nice glimpse of her. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the intention of the promo. I think the intention of the promo is really just for next week because they're going to be in Winnipeg. But there is definitely a way to get to that point. We'll see what happens. I'm very intrigued to see who she's facing next week. I don't really actually have a clue as to who she could be facing that's from Winnipeg.
That's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think of, Canadian female wrestlers, but I could not. I couldn't figure anybody out at all.
Let's see.
All right, one sec. That giveaway did not go through. I got to redo that here. So, boom. And boom.
Taya Valkyrie is Canadian.
Okay, disabled that. Ty Valkyrie. Oh, that's a good one though, because she's over in AAA and all that stuff, man. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the other big names are unfortunately already.
Oh, Gail Kim's from Canada. What? She's been retired for a while though, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been retired, so I would not assume it was her. I
wouldn't doubt she could drop a match though. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know. Well, I think she's working more so with Impact, but I think Taya is as well. So I don't know.
All right, guys, try one more time. Put an AEW in chat. If it doesn't work that time, we'll change it to a number. Hopefully this works. All right, so next up, we had the Jericho Appreciation Society versus Top Flight with AR Fox. This was Jericho, Garcia, and Sammy. Man, first thing I wrote down is AR Fox is incredible. How on earth did the WWE never pick this guy up? I am beyond shocked that I've never even seen him over there. AR Fox is incredible. Putting him with Darius and Dante from Top Flight is probably one of the best ideas I've ever seen. I actually loved this entire match. This was really good. Jake Hager getting involved, obviously the JAS gets involved every time. But Top Flight and AR Fox looked very strong here, man. They looked very strong, and even though they lost due to Hager hitting Darius in the back with the bat, and Jericho immediately hitting the Judas effect, which looked smooth as hell, by the way. Darius was running the ropes. The second he hit the ropes, Hager hit him with the bat, and then immediately off the bat, Jericho with the Judas effect. It was just smooth and perfect. It was like butter. They still looked real strong, even though they lost here, man. I had a ton of fun in this match, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
So I don't want to get off topic, but I just saw something come across my Twitter feed that I just really want to share because it's amazing.
Go
Um,
for it.
so indulge me as we tangent away from our topic. So last night, Raj Giri, complete trash bag of human being, says the booking. He tweets out the booking of Wardlow since Double or Nothing. I don't get it. And who but the GOAT, the greatest of all time, one QT Marshall, quote tweets him and says, Raj, you do not get it because you have no understanding of the actual inner workings of professional wrestling. This look, man, look. All right, I want it to be it started as a gimmick, but like, look, man, I will talk about it later. But this tweet, man, this is amazing. This is incredible. This is absolutely fucking incredible. I love this. This is really good. Anyways, yeah, the JS match was really good. I saw a lot of people on Twitter complaining that JS wins this match, and I don't think that was warranted at all. I mean, AR Fox and Top Flight have been booked very well. They've beaten the Young Bucks. They've had 2 trios titles matches. JS coming off a bunch of losses to to Ricky and Action Andretti. I think it absolutely makes a lot of sense, especially with what's coming for next week, to have them win.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Coog, type in AEW by itself for me one more time. I see everybody else in here except for the Coog. Once we get him in, we will probably do this giveaway. Just gotta get the Coog in there. Not sure why it won't show him here. All right. After this match, the Jericho Appreciation Society gets on the mic and says that it is the 1-year anniversary of JAS. And they say that they are the rightful trio's #1 contenders and call out the House of Black. Dude, as soon as this happened, I was like, yes! The lights go out, and we all think we're going to get the House of Black. But who do we get instead? The lights come on, and it's the Elite. I thought that was freaking fantastic, the way that we got kind of sort of, I don't want to say worked there, but that was a great bait and switch with the lights for the Elite.
Absolutely. And you think that they're leading towards Jericho versus Omega in Winnipeg, which would have been a money match, absolutely. But instead, the House of Black shows up and says, if you want the trios titles to either of you guys, either of your teams, come get them. And we are having, for the first time ever, a trios 3-way dance. And I'm like, so is that like 3 squared? I'm just like, yeah, wow, look at that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Coog, I'm not sure why, but it will not put you in here. I got to try with a different one here.
Jeff, why don't you just
there it is. Now he's in.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say
now he's in. All right, we are good. You are in there now, Coog. All right, if there is anybody else that wants to join our giveaway here, make sure you type in AEW into chat, and we will be doing this here right after this. After I finish this segment right here. So, the Jericho Appreciation Society calls out the House of Black. The Elite show up, and man, right away, I was like, Winnipeg next week, Kenny, Jericho. Oh my God, please, please, please. And yeah, like you said, we're getting a trios match. I am so excited for we're going to get it for a minute, just a taste. We're just going to get a taste of Jericho and Kenny in the ring at the same time, the Winnipeg boys. Because, Don Callis said it himself, Jericho may be the GOAT, but he's only the second best from Winnipeg. If you don't know, he was talking about Kenny. This was fan-frickin-tastic, man. And lights go out again, come back on, House of Black are there, and they say, come get them. I loved this from beginning to end. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was perfect the way that they did this.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a really well done segment, really awesome. Great way to get this match going. Really big match for Winnipeg. I mean, it's their debut in Winnipeg. Obviously, Kenny and Chris, both being from Winnipeg, want to put on the best show possible for their hometown. So, yeah, I think this is a real big money match for Winnipeg.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. All right, we are going to roll the winner of the giveaway for the Lance Archer figure, series number 7, Unrivaled. So watch in chat. Nightbot will be doing it. And here we go. Oh, the Coog. I'm so glad I got him in there. Let's go. Lance
Congrats,
is
congrats.
initiating the battle royale. So Coog, you're just going to message me in the Discord there. Send me whatever address you would like this sent to, and you got yourself a Lance Archer figure. Congratulations, man.
Yes,
I
now if
don't
you
know
did
why it
not
wouldn't put you
win,
in there. I'm glad it finally did.
now if you did not win, unless I'm mistaken, Jeffrey, we are doing another giveaway at the end of the pod.
You are correct. That was just our first giveaway of the night. The second giveaway is the actual 500 subscriber celebration with the Sting Luminaries. Series number 2, number 9. Sting is wearing a full trench coat with the baseball bat. Now,
So,
Rome, this is not the one that you had found at Walmart. The one that you had found at Walmart is actually even more rare than this one. And we may be doing that one for 1,000 subscribers because that one's much, much rarer than this one.
God, yeah, I was about to tell the story of how I found it and for what it is,
Yeah.
but I guess we'll save that for another day.
I'd have to dig back there to find the one that you found. The one that you found, he has half of his face painted like Darby Allin,
Yeah.
and it is much harder to find. But yeah, so that'll be by the end of the night here tonight. We will do another one towards the end. So watch out for the Sting one. Coog, congratulations on the Lance Archer. All right, so next up we had a Tony Khan announcement. And question real quick. Did you hear anything about Tony Khan saying like, hey, a huge announcement for tonight or anything like that? Me
Well,
neither. And I was like, dude, if there was ever a time for him to be like, yo, huge announcement, I mean, this would have been it, but he probably would have got ridiculed again. So,
so he did tweet like right before Revolution, like the day before, saying like, "Hey, there are some exciting announcements coming up for fans of AEW that fans are going to care about." So I would assume this is
okay.
one of those things.
Yep. Well, he makes an announcement that Orange Cassidy has put out an open challenge to Jeff Jarrett for the All Atlantic Championship in Winnipeg. Tony says this will be the 5th and final defense of the All Atlantic Championship, and the winner of this match will become the AEW International Champion. I love the name change on the belt. Not to say I didn't like the other name. I know a lot of people were very fond of the name, but we're getting a new name for the belt, the AEW International Championship. I love it. Absolutely love it. Time to get this thing on some foreign soil and have it defended overseas. And it looks like first up is going to be in Canada versus Jeff Jarrett, Double J. Orange Cassidy loses this match, doesn't he?
No,
No?
no, thumbs up,
Hope not.
thumbs up for the orange one. No, yeah, I don't think he's.
Oh, he's disgusted with me. Sorry, Orange. I'm sorry.
He's upset. He's very upset. It's okay. He didn't mean
Well, we shall see. I absolutely love the new name of this championship. And, I was trying to skip over it, but, this match is to promote the new Shazam movie. I got to tell you, the first Shazam movie was awesome. I absolutely liked it. So I'm interested to see how this Shazam movie goes. But, we're entering the world of, promotions within the show now. It's the way it is in wrestling, I guess.
Look, man, I mean, it's once again just another sign of like this is like it's WWD, Warner Brothers Discovery. Like they really do believe in Tony Khan and his product. They want more TV, they want more product, they want more promotional tie-ins, they want to work with AEW. Like this is it's very clear here that like when the network is coming to AEW and saying like, "Hey, we have this new Shazam movie coming out. Is there anything you can do with us to promote this?" Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what more. Like, it's crazy to me because like every other week, like Jeff, I don't know if you heard, but next week is the series finale of AEW. It's been
Oh,
real. AEW's ending. It's all over. It's the end of the line. We pack it up. We're
so
gonna
like the
become
season finale?
no, the series it's over forever. The show, AEW's getting canceled. It's the end of the show.
Who said
The
that?
the company's going under. People say it all the time, every single week. It's the end of AEW. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Um, and yet every week we see Warner Brothers Discovery come out and say like, oh hey, we actually really love working with you guys. Let's keep the train rolling. Tiger, I don't want you to step on my keyboard because then bad things will happen.
It's okay,
Um,
Tiger. Do whatever you want.
no, he's okay. He's
Smash the
hanging out.
keyboard, Tiger.
No, he's hanging out down here with me. But so yeah, I mean, I love the name of this belt. I think that this is a great idea because we've had um, conversations in the past, I believe, with Ed, who's like, I don't think that this is a good idea. Like, why is it called the All Atlantic Championship if he's not like going around like by naming it the International Championship? It's like, hey, this is the like it will be defended around the world in the international scene. So I
Yeah,
like
I
the name
love
a
it.
lot. I think it's a great name. I think it's a great relationship builder for AEW and Warner Brothers. I think Orange Cassidy is absolutely going to still be the champion. I mean, that would be pretty ballsy for them to put this title on Jeff Jarrett. Like, I don't know. That would be
Dude,
pretty
he,
damn
he
ballsy.
he works with AAA. He works with everybody, man. I'm telling you, bro, it's happening.
I don't think so, but I mean, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. But I mean, we'll see.
We shall see, man. We shall see. Whew, that'd be insane. The heat. Oh my God, the heat. All right, next up, we had the Danielson promo after his match, crying, essentially, saying, Max was right. He was putting himself before his family. And Danielson says, it's time for me to go home. And my first reaction was like, please tell me he's not retiring here.
No.
And then I was like, wait a minute, what if home is Ring of Honor? And all these dummies were like, oh, home is WWE. If you think for 1 second that Danielson considers the WWE home, when he says that his WrestleMania victory means nothing to him, I'm sorry, he doesn't consider that place home for 1 second. If anything, Ring of Honor is home. I can't. Could you
No,
imagine a Punk return to ROH maybe, and a Danielson coming to save ROH from Punk? Oh,
I mean, number one, very emotional promo, very well done by
so
Danielson.
good.
I think it's just Danielson taking some time off. I think
Yeah,
that like you got to look at it this way. I think that following the brawl out, there have been three veterans that have put the company
100%.
on their back, and it's Jericho, Mox, and Danielson. And I think that obviously, I don't think Jericho wants to take time off. And I don't think Mox wants to take time off either, but Danielson does, and I think he deserves it. I think that you're about to. I'm hoping that Punk's back. Adam Cole's about to be back. Tony Khan's made it clear that when you need time, take the time you need. So,
Mox needs to take his damn vacation.
bro, I think fans want Mox to take his vacation more than Mox wants to take his
For
vacation.
real?
Yeah, everyone just needs to calm down. Like, look, if Mox wanted to take time off, he would have. Like I understand he was supposed to be
He
on
was
vacation,
going to.
right? But then he was like, "Nah, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep working." Bro, we are like 6 months removed from All Out. You mean to tell me that they're still just like Tony Khan's just like everyone else is taking all this time off, and Tony Khan's like, "Sorry, Mox, request off denied." Like, no,
Yeah.
like no, no, because they would have given him his vacation when he got that injury angle against Hangman. They would have like, "Hey, take a few weeks off here and sell this concussion or whatever."
Yeah. It could also be due to Renee being used heavily right now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They might be like, give it a few weeks, man. We're using Renee like every week right now. Hold on.
I just don't
Get
think Mox
RJ in there.
take time
I
off.
got to admit, during Revolution, man, RJ City won me over tremendously with the way he was doing like the red carpet type thing. Absolutely loved every second of RJ on the Revolution.
Yeah, no, it was definitely awesome. But no, I don't think Mox wants to take time off like people think he does. I think he
No,
loves what
yeah,
he does. A lot like
he loves it too
Jericho.
much.
And again, like you said, Renee's on the road with him. Like he has his wife with him. You have to assume his like they probably their daughter is young enough where she's probably traveling with them.
Yeah,
Like I like why wouldn't you? Like you probably want to you love doing it. You get to go to work and your wife's there and your kids there and you're doing
yep,
your dream job. Like yeah, why wouldn't you? Like yeah, that is a vacation. You're just working. You're
yeah,
enjoying what you do.
absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right, next up we had John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Dark Order, Silver and Reynolds. Um, right away when I saw this, I was like, I thought we were done with Hangman and Mox. Uh, but I kind of had a little bit of faith here. I was like, okay, maybe Hangman's just gonna stay in the back, and it's just the Dark Order beefing with the BCC. We had a pretty decent match here. Dark Order basic match with them. They run around. Johnny Hungy running wild, looking great out there, looking strong as hell. Moxley grabs Silver in the bulldog choke after he gets him to tap out, and he keeps the choke on after the bell, and we get Evil Uno coming out for the save. And this is where immediately I was like, okay, we're getting Hangman again. And, with Hangman's promo earlier of like, I'm done with Moxley, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to say I didn't like this because I actually did like it. I was just like, I thought we were done. But Uno comes out for the save, but Wheeler Yuta stops him. They go for the beatdown. They start beating down Evil Uno, and the Hangman comes out for the save as well. And the Hangman just kind of walks right past John Moxley, and he's like, I got no time for you. I'm done with you. Just leave Uno alone. You know what I mean? He's like, kind of shoves everybody out of the ring. And Claudio kind of gets in his face and pisses him off, and the Hangman smashes him one in the face, and the Blackpool Combat Club kicks the shit out of Hangman. So I guess we still got a little bit of Hangman and Moxley going on here, but I think we're just going to have Hangman like ignoring Moxley here. I don't know where we go from here, but I feel like that's the way to go for Hangman to just be like, dude, I'm done with you. Like, you know?
If I had to make an assumption here, or a few assumptions, so bear with me. I believe that Don Callis will be turning on the Elite soon, and Takeshita will be his new protege. You had Don interrupt Kenny Omega last night on Dynamite, and whatnot. So I could see that happening. I could also see the Dark Order either being eliminated or something happening to them where they can't back Mox or Hangman up against the BCC, which could lead to the Elite getting involved. That's kind of how I see maybe things kind of getting back together. But I think that's kind of the pendulum swing right there because you want to get them together, and then you have CM Punk come back, hopefully. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I am 100% not upset that they're going heel, Coog. I love the Blackpool Combat Club as heels. I feel like I feel like that's their better. I feel like they're better that way, to be honest with you. Especially Wheeler Yuta. I love this new Wheeler Yuta we're getting, man. Just thought we were done with Hangman, but let's see where it goes here. Hopefully, Hangman just kind of ignores him and stuff like that. But we'll see. Lance says he doesn't see anything special about Renee. Oh man, Renee's awesome. Like she doesn't have to be like special. She's just really good at her job. She's great at interviews. She's very believable. It's Moxley's wife. She's gorgeous. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with her in any capacity. I think she's great. But next up, we had the Acclaimed with Renee Paquette. 2.0 interrupt. I keep calling him that because it's tough to call him Daddy Magic and Angelo Parker. It's so long. 2.0 interrupt and say the JAS love the Acclaimed, and they invite them to join the JAS. And I really wanted to see what you thought about this because I started laughing my ass off before the Acclaim did, and then it was almost like they saw me laughing and they started laughing too, dude. I had such a blast with this segment.
I thought it was really funny. I love 2.0. They show up and they're like, Jericho Appreciation Society. We love rap music.
Yeah.
They're like, we love rap music. You should join us. You're sports entertainers at heart. And they look at Billy and they all just start laughing at him. It was really good. And I love that the Acclaim were like, Max says, we're on TV more than you are. Leave us alone.
Lance says, you seem pretty confident CM Punk is coming back. Yes, sir. We are both fairly confident CM Punk is coming back. He is a professional. He's a professional wrestler. If all of the parties that were involved can't come together and make money off of this, they don't belong in the business. So yes, I do think that he is coming back.
Me personally, my beliefs are a little more wrapped in evidence. Not that I'm not taking away your. I don't think you
Oh
have a
yeah, I know.
doubt about that. But I mean, I just look at it as number one. I think the stars align really well in a sense that like it seems really obvious, but the biggest thing is that all access show, that trailer, like you see it, like all of this beef that happened in AEW, all this backstage drama that happened in AEW for the past year, it all is going to be on this show, which again, like we have to be realistic. It's reality TV. It's made so you want to watch AEW. Like so they're not just filming whatever. Like if you want to see legitimate behind the scenes stuff, then you should probably watch BTE. Like this show clearly is not going to be BTE. It's going to be its own thing. And I think that if you watch that trailer for All Access, you see like a lot of stuff that we like talked about over the last year just being like, oh, this is a big problem that's happening in AEW backstage drama, and a lot of it's on this show, and it's just like, okay, like look, it's
Yeah.
reality TV, it is what it is, it's script, it is planned out, they know what they're doing when they made this show, they didn't just get lucky and have six backstage exciting things happen, you know what I mean? Like it's not like, wow, we were really lucky to film this show for the 6 months that we did. Like, oh, it doesn't work that way. um so the end of that trailer basically is very clearly talking about Brawl Out, unless there's like a bait and switch and they're not talking about it. And then you couple that with FTR, there's just a lot of factual evidence that just leads me to believe that he's coming back. I mean, even after it first happened, the night after it happened, we went on and I did I think it was a 45-minute presentation as to
Yeah.
why I thought it was a work. So I mean, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of stuff there that you can deduce that I think he's coming back. Honestly, my thought process, and like I absolutely could be wrong here. I think what happened was they had plans. CM Punk got hurt because that's obviously real. CM Punk got hurt, and they were like, "Fuck, man!" Like they probably did like X-rays, and they were like, "Oh man, this is not looking good." And they just were like, "Bro, let's just do some shit." Like they're filming this show, they're doing all this stuff. Let's just fucking like, what if we got into a locker room brawl? You know what I mean? Like, part of me is like, they probably like, and it was so on the fly. Could be wrong. Could be completely wrong, but I just feel like that's what happened. Punk got hurt. Punk knew he wanted to make money with Kenny and they were going to be feuding at some point in the future. And they were just like, we need to do something real quick to get you off TV. And maybe the Elite was like, hey, let's take some time off ourselves. This could get us off for a month to take a break. I don't know.
My only thing is it left such a black eye. I don't see like you could want to do that to yourself very much. You know what I
Well, so
mean?
you mean
But
to tell me that they were filming for this show and everyone was just like, all right, let's just fight.
I'm thinking that the fight was real and that they wound up, let's all make some money from this and let's try to do
I think
something with it.
it makes too much sense. Like when the dirt sheets
Yeah.
are reporting, oh, FTR was out of the building. Like, why does that matter?
Yeah.
Like, why does that matter back then? Like,
Yeah. We'll see.
sorry.
All right, so next up was Wardlow versus Hobbs. Falls count anywhere. They start brawling in the back in basically like a indoors giant parking lot inside the arena here. Hobbs gets thrown over the barricade. Actually, when Hobbs picked up that keg, so Hobbs picks up a giant keg and absolutely just launches it at Wardlow, smashes the window of a car, in that backstage parking lot. That keg went bouncing like ding 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 like a freaking like something out of a video game, man. That was crazy. That dude is strong. If you've ever tried to pick up a keg before, even if it's empty, you know what I mean.
Yep.
So they brawl in the back. They make their way out to the ring. Wardlow throws Powerhouse Hobbs over a freaking, one of the barricades. Puts him through a freaking table, man. We had a absolutely awesome, awesome chant by the crowd for "We Want Tables." Thank you guys very much in Sacramento. You guys were amazing all night, by the way, in Sacramento. That was fantastic. So he sets Willie Hobbs up on a table outside, and we get a massive senton from the top ropes through a table with Willie Hobbs on the outside. That was one of the most impressive table spots I have seen in a long time, dude. Like that was badass.
Yeah, so I mean, real quick to kind of just run down my thoughts in the beginning of the fight. I love the parking lot brawl setting. I will never not love it. I think that it really makes for great television.
Very much.
They absolutely wreck that car.
Yeah.
I really something I love. It's a very small thing, but it's something that I really really appreciate. Is because you don't know that the match is starting in the backstage parking lot area. So what happens is like oh we have a camera crew getting there, and then like the camera crew shows up, and then as they're filming you can see more people running in, like the second camera crew like that's usually ringside booked it to the back, so you can like see them kind of show up on camera. I thought that was a great touch. um and then yeah, I mean, just like you said, the table spot was awesome. The way that they just wrecked that car was just so good. Like again, I love parking lot brawls. I think it's one of the most entertaining things you can do in pro wrestling is just having a really good parking lot brawl.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I like how they didn't spend too much time back there though. It was just a couple of minutes. They destroyed that Cadillac back there. The keg spot was freaking awesome. That keg, dude, I'm telling you, like it was like a pinball. It was like bing, bing, ding, 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 like Superman through that thing.
Mhm.
That was freaking awesome. The swanton through the table. I guess senton. I guess that he calls it. My God, it was amazing. Um, Wardlow started selling his ribs at one point. I didn't see anything that actually looked like he had, you know, taken a shot to the ribs. So I was hoping he didn't like pull an oblique muscle or anything like that. We fight up on the ramp, getting towards what looked to be the end of the match. And just as Wardlow is about to powerbomb Will Hobbs up on it looked like he was going to do the announcer's table, to be honest. A steel chair from out of nowhere smashes Wardlow in the back. Just kind of pisses him off, to be honest. And you see, it's the hero himself, QT Marshall. Wardlow is just pissed off instead of hurt from this chair shot. So he turns around to see who it was, and QT Marshall kicks him in the balls. Just pow! Puts him down to his knees, gives him another chair shot to the head, picks up Powerhouse Willie Hobbs. Come on, bro, let's go. Get up. Come on, man. Come on, let's go. They both pick up Powerhouse Willie Hobbs, Shield style, and they power bomb him off the stage into some sort of electrical area thing. Wardlow gets counted out on a 10 count. I thought this at first. I absolutely hated this. I was like, fuck you, QT. I can't stand this guy. Because
You
every
mean you
show
got
we've been.
worked? You mean that you got worked?
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. We were meant to be absolutely pissed off at this. And it worked so well.
Look, man. Look. All right. So obviously last night I did not catch Dynamite live due to work, and I also so I was a little behind, and I went and finished Dynamite last night after I got done, and I go on the Discord for a few minutes just because I had like a few minutes before I had to go to sleep because I had to get back up at 5 a.m. this morning. And I'm sitting there like let me just check in, and the pure hate that QT Marshall was getting was absurd.
It was
Just
rough.
absurd. Like, look, man. Okay, here's the thing. Is QT Marshall excellent? No. In in terms of in ring, no. Um, Here's the thing. when you watch QT Marshall, and now he's been off TV for a few months, this man is extremely good at getting a crowd to hate him.
Oh yeah.
Like you can, and you know what? At the end of the day, you can argue that that is his job, and he has succeeded. This reaction he's getting, like, look, I understand you can try to hide it as a feeling of indifference. At the end of the day, a heel helped another heel win the title, and you feel like that's not the way the match should have ended. That's the point.
Yep.
And look, I'm guilty of it too. Like in today's wrestling landscape, especially in AEW, where fans are legitimately like, I don't want to, use the term smart marks, but like wrestling fans are very smart now. They know everything. They don't boo the bad guys. They don't cheer the good guys. They cheer who they like and they boo who they don't. And at the end of the day, sometimes you need a guy who can just go in there and just be a heel. The same thing happened when the Guns won the World Tag Team Championships. We sat there and what happened? Everybody shit on it. Why? Not because the Guns are bad, because nobody likes the Guns. But guess what? You're not supposed to like them. They're bad guys. They're the heels. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think that a large section of the smart wrestling fan base is getting worked by guys doing their jobs. QT came out and he's a heel. Last summer, the last time we saw QT Marshall on TV was when Hobbs was feuding with Ricky Starks, and QT stepped in to help Hobbs out. And last summer, QT Marshall owes Powerhouse Hobbs a favor back when they were working together. He was even on TV saying, "Next, I got your back in the future." So, like QT being off TV and then him coming in, number one, there was a tease for it, and it makes sense. Number two, they need heels. AEW needs guys like QT
Yeah.
Marshall because he is just like, again, I can't stress it enough. Wrestling is at its best when you have a babyface who can get over and a heel that can get heat. And unfortunately, it's just a huge problem that we're going to have to deal with. Where, like, for example, when MJF after the brawl out happened, that guy was a babyface, full blown babyface. And that match at Full Gear with Mox, like, he like you need the nuclear heat because then you go on to Ricky Starks and Ricky is just elevated by how much the crowd wants him to beat the shit out of MJF. And then you get to
Yeah.
Daniel, the same thing. Like you need these heels in wrestling. You need guys that you don't like. And there's a difference between a guy being boring and a guy pissing you off. And when I have Natasha in the Discord being like, I hate him so much. He shouldn't even be in the title picture as a supporting character, not going for the title. That just sounds to me like you got worked by a heel.
Yep.
Um,
And
yeah,
I'm one of those that got worked, man. I was furious for like a couple of moments. We were all in the Discord there screaming and yelling like, "What QT Mar what the hell?" And then the more I sat there and thought about it, I was like, I'm supposed to feel this way. And you look on Twitter and QT Marshall is fucking trending on Twitter like,
yeah,
come on, man, this is what was supposed to happen. He's an original, right? He's one of the AEW originals, with the factory, right?
yeah. And again, it's just like, like and Coog says it best. Like if you watch him on Dark, like he wakes the crowd up. He gets them to curse him out. Like the stuff he was doing with -1 previously. Like this guy's a really good heel. And another thing is that you can't think QT is too terrible because a lot of these young guys, like I hate like all right, so like here's the thing, right, Jeff? I really hate to break it to the people that don't like QT Marshall, but like this dude's been backstage training all these young talent that everybody really hates or really likes. So maybe you don't hate QT, you just don't understand
So
QT. Because
here's
he's back there training these people. Like
I
all these,
can
the factory was not a gimmick. He legitimately is training people in Georgia, in Atlanta. He's
yes.
training these people in AEW.
I can explain QT in one word. Textbook.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
why he's not very liked. He
Sure.
is, if you watch him wrestle, every move that he does is textbook perfect almost. And you can see he's a trainer. You know what I mean? Like it shows that like how well he does every move. Like he's showing guys how to do things while he's in the ring basically. And it's just not a very exciting thing. He doesn't have. There's a few things that you need that, or you could have, that'll make you, stand out. You could have one of those amazing bodies. He doesn't have that. You
No.
can have, amazing work on the mic. He's close, but no, he doesn't have that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's just textbook. Everything about him is, the way that it should be, but it's nothing that is spectacular and going to make you be like, I need to see that guy.
Right, but again, at the end of the day, like you still need guys like that. Like you
Of
need
course.
textbook. Like for
Yeah.
example, right? Madison Rain. We talked about Madison Rain. Remember that first
Perfect.
match she had when she tagged when she went against Sky Blue, and we were like, "Oh man,
Perfect.
like, you." It was your take. You were like, "That was not a good match," and I was like, You realize that she was training Sky Blue in the ring in
Yep.
real time. Like she was like that was a training session that we
Yeah.
saw on television. Like it wasn't meant to be a good match. It's her getting the reps in and Madison Rain showing Sky Blue the ropes, getting into the ring with somebody who is the coach of the division
Yeah.
on TV and working a TV match, getting a TV rep with her teacher, with her
That
coach. It
that was
is
one of those, let's see if you learn in the middle of being thrown into the fire. I agree completely.
exactly. So like and here's the thing. It's all about how they're being used. Like again, not to throw people under the bus, but Natasha was in the Discord. This guy should be nowhere near this storyline that involves a title. I think that that is absurd. It's not like QT came out and like attacked Hobbs and Wardlow and was like, I'm coming for the belt." No, he didn't do that. It's not like QT showed up and he's like, "MJF, I'm coming for you, partner." Like, no, he like it's all about. You got to look at the situation that he's being used in. He came in. He's debuting a new gimmick, which I actually think is going to be a really good gimmick for him because
Totally.
if you watched the Dark episode last Saturday where Aaron Solo wrestled, he did not come out as the Factory's Aaron Solo. He came out as his own guy, which means
Oh,
the
really?
Factory. Well, yeah, he had an entrance and he wasn't part of the Factory.
Okay.
Um, so the Factory's clearly like not a gimmick anymore. So they're
Yeah, I think they're
repackaging
done.
QT, and QT's going to be this heel dirt sheet writer or
Got like
heel dirt
QTV.
sheet, yeah, a heel dirt sheet guy. And I think that's great. QT tweeted the other day, last night, like, "Oh man, I wonder who broke into Wardlow's car." And I was like, "Please tell me that we're gonna get a video package next week of QT like reporting live, like this is QT Marshall reporting live in front of Wardlow's car, and he smashes the window."
So I'm glad you went here, because this is where I had mentioned earlier they could have done something that would have made this way better. So instead of QT Marshall showing up and swinging the chair and hitting Wardlow and kicking him in the balls, this should have been just as Wardlow was about to powerbomb him. QT should have been, I don't want to say like shown in the crowd or something, you know what I mean? Somewhere focused on with the camera, maybe just right there in front of him on the top of the ramp, holding his title. And maybe like a backpack that makes it look like he was the one to have done it. They have replica titles. They had one sitting on the stand right there. They could have had QT hold up that title and make it look like he was the one that broke into the car, and have Wardlow just his mind go insane, drop Powerhouse Hobbs, go after QT. Hobbs comes over, and then they get the win. I feel like that would have made that a million times better.
Well, so okay, so can I give you a devil's advocate point?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So what if that's the story going forward? What if that's next week?
Yeah. What I'm
Like
saying is, though, this would have helped that spot not be so hated. You know what I mean? A lot of people
I
were
mean,
like, "Oh, I can't believe this." I just feel like it would have made it make a little more sense.
again, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that you can stretch it out to the point where like, okay, you don't need to reveal like this just makes it worse. QT Marshall at this point has taken everything from Wardlow. If they go that route, if they go the route that it was a work
Yeah.
and QT was the one that broke into his car, because again, Wardlow says earlier in the night he's like, the only thing I have left to lose is being a champion. And you got to look at it like that, where like if you go that route, QT Marshall has taken everything from Wardlow that he values. And what better way? to have Wardlow have an issue with QT Marshall.
Yeah.
Again, man, like here's the thing. I I thought that it was a really good ending to Dynamite. I really do. Was it like the most excellent thing I've ever seen? No, it wasn't. But at the end of the day, mission accomplished across the board. Hobbs, who deserves to win the match and be a champion, won the match, became a champion. He, the heel, another heel, helped him win the belt. You
Yeah.
aren't supposed to feel good about that. That's
Nope.
not the point. You can
Made me
like
feel
Hobbs all you
stuff.
want. Exactly. At the end of the day, you felt something. What was the general consensus? The general consensus was, man, that is not how this match should have ended. Oh wow, so the heel did his job.
Yeah. I'm
Again,
in.
like
You know what I'm saying? The more I think about it, the more I'm in. You know?
right. It's the same thing as the guns. Like you can sit here and hate on the guns, and you can sit here and hate on QT Marshall. At the end, like again, like you put it best. He's textbook. He does everything by the book, and he does a great job at it. And
Yeah.
he that deserves a spot in the company on the roster. You know, he's going to work these more lower mid card storylines, these mid card storylines, and that's okay. Like it's okay for QT Marshall to exist. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's all about how he's being used. The other like people don't realize, but AEW backstage is a largely run by wrestlers promotion. You know, like you look at all these people in these jobs in AEW's office, excuse me, outside of the head of legal, it's all talent. Christopher Daniels, HR or public relations, sorry. Leva Bates, Captain Sean Dean, like QT Marshall, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett. These are all guys and Leva Girl who are running this company with Tony. They're all wrestlers. They're all talent. So
Yeah.
like I don't think it's right for QT, much like all the other talent who are wrestling. You know, Sean Dean wrestled on TV last week. Leva's wrestled a few times the past year, the last few months specifically. Obviously, Jeff Jarrett's on TV every week. Sanjay Dutt as well. Like, you're telling me that Madison Rain, who's a coach, wrestles regularly. Dustin, who's another coach, wrestles regularly. You mean to tell me that everyone else can be on TV, but QT can't? Like, come on, man. That's just not fair. QT's out there training these talent that we watch, and we say, "Oh man, this talent's really good." Well, you know, guess who his teacher was? QT Marshall. Like,
Yep.
come on, enough.
UT Marshall, sir.
Sorry, yes, QT Marshall. It is QT Marshall. My point is the hate was absurd, and like I'm not even a big QT guy, but like, look, man, I
No,
don't.
I
I
don't think it was absurd because we've been conditioned to hate him in the audience of shows. You know how much we hate him.
No, I understand that. I'm
You
not
know.
saying that's absurd. I'm saying what's absurd was the reaction of it was a bad ending because like QT was a heel. Like that's what it was. Like you didn't like that the heel got involved.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But I thought overall this was a great episode of Dynamite. Sometimes when the finish of the show isn't so great, a lot of people are like, "Ah, what a shitty show," and I'm like, "Not at all. That was an excellent episode of Dynamite." Even the more I think about it, the more I liked the ending, especially if they knock it out of the park with the story on this. If Hobbs continues to be a dominant champion for a little while and this thing with QT is good, I'm gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes. And we are getting towards the end, so everybody in chat, please make sure you guys. I made this one to where all you got to do is type into chat. You don't have to type anything specific. As long as you're typing into chat, you will be entered into our next giveaway for the Sting figure. So, what do we have prepped for Rampage there, Rome?
All right. Well, this coming Friday night on Rampage, we have Sammy Guevara versus Action Andretti. Konosuke Takeshita will be going up against Preston Vance. Nyla Rose will be taking on Riho. Next week on AEW Dynamite in Winnipeg, Canada. Orange Cassidy versus Jeff Jarrett for the AEW International Championship. MJF will have a re-bar mitzvah celebration on his birthday on the Ides of March. And then for the AEW World Trios Championships, we have a Trios three-way dance. The House of Black defending against the Elite and the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I can't wait, man. It's gonna be so good.
So, Jeff, I have a question for you, right? Here's my thing.
What up, Dragon?
What's up, Dragon? Here's my thing. So, do you think, the Banana Nose Circus, this man, he's in Connecticut talking about, you know, talking to Vince about, all the booking stuff that Triple H is totally doing on his own. It's a Friday night. Rampage comes on. Do you think that the Banana Nose Circus, does he get the chills when Rampage is on TV in Riho's wrestling, or does he just get the chills Wednesday when it's being filmed? You know what I mean? Like he doesn't see it on TV, but does he just know that Riho's wrestling somewhere in the world when they're filming it? Like, do you think
So,
that? Like, what's your take on this?
so I want you to picture Triple H comfortable sitting at home watching television, or maybe even backstage somewhere in Connecticut, or in the corporate office, wherever you may picture Triple H enjoying himself, and he just hears Riho's music, and the instant that dread that you get, when you're out at 1 a.m. and you realize you're in a dark alley and you realize no one else is around, that feeling in the pit of your stomach. He just hears her music, and that feeling just arises in his stomach.
Right, but my question is that so they filmed Rampage on Wednesday night. My question is, does Triple Paul, does this man have a panic attack Wednesday night while Riho's wrestling, even though it's
The
not on
moment her
TV?
music hits, man.
But I'm saying like, yeah, okay. It's the all, it's the philosophical question. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? The answer is yes, it does. It's like that. It's like even though Triple Paul can't see Riho, does he still feel Riho?
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I think. Anyways, Dragon in the chat saying he thinks the outrage is that it feels like Hobbs needed it, and Hobbs has never really been portrayed as that, so it's odd. I understand what you mean though. QT gets no respect. So like, here's the thing. Again, like I'm never going to criticize a heel winning dirty. Like I'm just not going to do it. Hobbs is a heel. He is not a nice man. He is a bad man. He is a mean guy. So I am not going to sit here and be like, man, Hobbs really should have won that. Like clean. Like obviously after a while, like yeah, you do need to see some clean wins, but it's not like Hobbs cheats to win every single time he's out there. He won a ladder match by himself last week. So I get it,
True.
but I can't sit here and criticize a heel winning a championship, especially when so many people on Twitter were just like Righteous Reg, great follow. He's like, will y'all shut up? Like he put it best. I wonder if I think I might have taken a screen cap of it. Hold on, I want to see if I have what he said exactly. He said, y'all think I give a fuck about you not liking the ending? Don't step on this moment, you freaks. Like, yeah, a lot of people. I have another screen cap here. It was like Powerhouse Hobbs is a champion. Y'all think I, give a bleep how he got it?
Yeah, like Dragon just said, I don't care how he won. I'm just glad he won, and as long as they give him a good reign. A lot of people are upset with the reign that Wardlow had, but you got to know Wardlow got injured, and he had the whole MJF ruin his original reign. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a few things that went into him having a pretty not a good reign. There we go.
Sure.
But all right, everybody. So real quick here. Let's see. We got Dragon, we got Lance, we got Michael, we got Jordan, and the Coog, all in our giveaway for the Sting Luminaries number 9 from Series 2. If you don't hear your name that I just said, please make sure you type something, anything, doesn't matter, as long as it's not offensive, into chat to join into the chat. I'm going to do it in about 30 seconds here. I don't know, let's give it like a minute or two, because I know there is a delay on YouTube. So make sure you have typed something into chat and you are subscribed, and we'll get you into this giveaway. The Coog says Triple Nose craps his underwear when he hears Riho's theme. Yeah, that's... I did play that clip of Triple H hearing Riho's music and he spins around all dramatic like. Oh, man. So Rampage is going to be good this week. Did you say it was live?
No, it's not live.
No, it's not live. So they did tape it already. Actually, that's weird. I didn't really see any. Huh. Normally, people on Twitter are trying to ruin it for me. I didn't have to avoid anything. Actually, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be a good show, and I think Dynamite from Winnipeg is gonna be great too. Um, yeah, I mean, like, look, man, I think AEW is doing a phenomenal job right now. I thought, last night's episode of Dynamite was an extremely good episode. Um, I mean, we're 1 week away removed from a pay per view, so like, obviously some things are gonna have to take a little bit of time to kick up to get to the next point. But no, I thought it was a great pay per view and or a great show, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to next week in Winnipeg. It
Yeah,
should be
actually,
a
I'm
good show.
super excited for that Winnipeg show, man. I'm that crowd is gonna go ballistic, man. The Canadian crowds, they freaking love their wrestling, and they don't get it very often. So that's gonna be good.
Right.
Dragon says, "Am I the only one that feels like the Book of Hobbs is sort of House of Pain inspired? Only like Hobbs didn't get the TV time to really build momentum like Mark did." Um, I like this Book of Hobbs thing until he actually brings out the book. I don't want it to be like an actual book, but I do like that there's like the story of his life and that people are going to be written into the book after he beats their ass. I do like that story that's going there.
I mean, like, so I love Hobbs. I think he's excellent, but I also am not the biggest fan of the Book of Hobbs gimmick. Like you said, I think before he brought the book out, I thought it was pretty good. Like him walking around the streets, like, this is my life. This is the Book of Hobbs. Like, all right, yeah, that was cool. It being an actual book is kind of weird. It's still kind of weird.
Yeah, it was just like ugh. But now that he was carrying around the ring, he couldn't carry the book. So hopefully he keeps the book out of his hand, but he's got the title now, so it should be all good. Um, all right, let's do this giveaway here. We got only 5 of you guys. Y'all got a 20% chance of winning this nice Sting figure. So it's going to be Dragon, Lance, Michael, Jordan, and the Coog. All right, you guys ready? And we are going to... Oh, Sabak is here. Sabak, man, in the nick of time, bro. In the absolute nick of time. Sabak has joined in. So we are going to roll it here. I'm going to do a quick 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. What do you mean there's no eligible users? There's plenty.
Jeffrey Vegas, what are you doing? Well, in the meantime, while Jeff is figuring this out,
Oh, there it goes. I
oh,
just had to press the button twice, I guess. Lance Dominguez has won the giveaway for the Series 2 Sting Luminaries figure. Lance, are you still here, sir? Go to... Hopefully Lance is still here. Lance has won the giveaway for the Sting Luminaries figure. Lance, you are going to need to click that link there to join the Discord. The Discord is where you're going to give me your information for where we're going to send this to. You can have me send it wherever you like. It's up to you. So yeah, make sure you join that Discord. Is it already up there in the chat? Is Discord link there? Yeah, there's a Discord link in chat right up there above the Coog. Please join the Discord and send me your info. If for whatever reason Lance does not send me his info, we'll do this again on Friday. So we'll see what's going on. You want to go ahead and close us out here, Rome? And congratulations again to Lance and to the Coog on his win of the Lance Archer.
yeah, absolutely. Congrats to Coog. Congrats to Lance. Well, this has been episode 124 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you like the video, please give us a like and a subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. While you're at it, go check out some of our other videos. On Monday, we did the Game Room podcast, our video game podcast, where we did a tier list of the Rockstar games. Where did we rank the games like the Red Dead Redemption series and, the Grand Theft Auto and Bully and all that stuff. Where do we rank Bully? Why don't you go find out? If you want to go get our thoughts on the AEW Revolution pay-per-view this past week, that is also on our channel. Please go check those videos out. It helps us out tremendously. You can follow us, on our social medias in the description below. And a special thank you to you guys. Obviously this was a Dynamite review, but it was also our 500 subscriber celebration. I think I speak for Jeff as well. Just completely humbling experience. We just, we like to have fun here and just shoot the shit and talk about things that we care about. And I think that's really awesome that people want to hang out and hear what I have to say. You know what I mean? So I think that's just the craziest thing, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and I think Jeff feels the same way. Especially with the takes that Jeff has, like this guy. Whew, man. Anyways, thank you guys. Congrats again to the winners of the giveaway. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Rampage review.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for that 500 subscribers here. And Lance, we really hope you got to hear that you are the winner there. I'll try to at you in the chat. It'll give you a notification as well. But until next time, guys, thank you guys very much. And see our new mascot down there, Mesas Rotas. Coog, please tell me that that's correct. Mesas Rotas. I'm hoping that his name is correct. But until next time, top guys out.